Headline News.
15 years in the league, 2 Super Bowl rings, multiple-time Pro Bowler, an NFL Defensive Player of the Year, and the Steelers' all-time sack leader, James Harrison, is joining us on the set today. It's a perfect guest for 2 reasons. Number one, the headline today in Kansas City is Arctic Blast. So, again, Pittsburgh's cold. It's not Kansas City generally cold. It's not Foxborough cold. So take your time, James. Just tell us, as somebody sometimes hand in the dirt, what is it like playing in cold? How did it affect you?
Early on in my career, it affected me a little bit, to be honest with you. I had one situation where we were in Cleveland, and, dude, it was like cold. And everybody's coming in from outside, and they're like, dude, it's cold. Like, I'm like, dude, it's not cold, because I don't normally go out and warm up before we do our pregame warm-up. So I'm like, it's not cold. Like, I lived in Ohio my whole life. It's not cold.
Right.
So we're playing up there in Cleveland. As soon as I step out the tunnel, it's like rain, hail, sleet, and it's like needles hitting your God. I can't believe this.
And so psychologically,
oh yeah,
it was
first
in your
thing
head.
The whole warm up. I'm like, I can't get warm. So I get back inside, and we had a rule, like as linebackers, you couldn't wear sleeves. So if you did, it was a fine. So I get back in, and I'm waiting on one person to put on sleeves, because I am going to throw these sleeves on, and I'm going to take this fine and keep it moving.
Did anybody do it?
Nobody did it. We didn't tackle for nothing. Like 30-second timeouts, we're running from the middle of the field to the sideline to try and get warm. Like, it was that crucial.
Now, but as you aged, you were better in cold weather.
I was better in cold weather because I had got used to it, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a mind over matter thing, you know, really what it really comes to. Like, even when I went to New England and I wasn't used to having to go outside again and, you know, like practicing -10, -12 weather.
And they do in New England?
Oh, yeah. They don't go inside for nothing. The fields freeze over, you just go into the stadium. Like, we went inside one time, and it was because it was a blizzard, and we couldn't see, and he was mad that we had to go inside.
Belichick was.
Yes.
So take my audience into, because I said Brady is 13-2 in what is considered inclement weather. When he would meet Peyton Manning in cold weather games, I always felt it was an edge for Tom. The way he uses his hips, he's a very good cold weather thrower, and Tom always has been.
He practices it. I think it's just from practicing it, you know. Even, you know, like I said, up there, and it's like -12, and guys are like, is he really going to put us outside? Tom's like, hey, let's go. It's nothing to him. Let's just go out there, get it done, get the work in. And like I said, he's out there with some long sleeves on, a little hoodie, and, you know, a hand warmer with some sweats on. And, you know, he's out there slinging the ball like it's, you know, 70 degrees outside.
Well, it is interesting because New England's a veteran team that's been in this before with a cold weather quarterback, and Kansas City's a younger team with speed, doesn't run it as well, with a younger warm weather quarterback. I said to start my show today, I do believe, my gut feeling when the 2 games ended this weekend, Kansas City's the bet. But when I see Arctic Blast and they say it could be 10 below, there's no question, James. My initial gut feeling was that's an edge New England.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think so, too.
I would think so, because they're used, like I said, they're used to playing in it. They're used to practicing in it. It becomes, you know, second nature, so to speak. And you get situations where if it gets cold enough, your field starts freezing. Now, for a guy that's a quick in-out cut guy and your speed guy, that's going to slow him down. You know, he's not going to be able to take off the line as fast. He's not going to be able to stop on the dime as fast. It's going to be a lot of things that's going to, you know, slow down speed.
I want to shift to something. I'll get to the Antonio Brown story in a second. The Dallas Cowboys apparently tipped off the Rams on some of their defensive alignments. I don't want to be overly critical of the Cowboy coaching staff, because I do believe, James, that if you have 2 weeks to prepare and 2 weeks to watch film, that gives you an advantage to see poker face, the tells. They call it in poker, a tell. I didn't hear this about the Cowboys all year long. I guess my question to you would be, did you play teams regularly where you felt they gave away signals, gave away tendencies?
You could watch certain players that can give things away, certain ways they stand, if they're heavy on their hands, if they're light on their feet, whatever it may be. We had a situation where we were playing a team, and you have people that just sit there and, like, they'll look at one player the whole game and be like, okay, if it's something that he does and it's 100%, they'll tell us. We had one one team that we were playing where the fullback, anytime he lined up and he moved his hand like this, he couldn't help it. It was a run. So we knew run and pass just from watching him. He lined up. If he didn't wiggle his hand, it was a pass. If he wiggled his hand, literally wiggled his hand like that, it was a run, and it was 100%.
When you were in New England or Pittsburgh, were the Steelers or the Patriots more aware of that stuff? Because I think some of this is just Sean McVay being a really smart, good coach.
Like, if you catch it, it's normally like a player, like a stance or like you try and self-scout yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I line up with my feet parallel, you know, it's a good chance that I'm going to, like, you know, do a stunt in or out. Well, sometimes you need to line up like that and not do that stunt. Sure. You need to make it to where you can try and get it to where it's a 50-50 thing. But that's only through the course of self-scouting. And in New England, they actually, like, watch film of themselves and self-scout themselves. Do you,
when you looked at the Rams game against the Cowboys, I don't think that may have been the deciding factor. Wrap a bow around the Cowboys season to you.
I think they play extremely well at home, and on the road, they don't.
You've been on teams like that?
Yeah.
Some teams play better at home.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why you fight all year to get home field advantage. You know, you take, you know, the Philly and Saints game. You give the Philly 14 points at home, it's over.
The game's over.
It's over. But Saints are at home. So now they have a chance to fight and get back into it. And who would have thought that they would have been up 14 and lost 14-20?
You know, it's funny. We were talking about this yesterday. You were a great player home and away. Teams do play better at home. Is it because of the noise?
It's the crowd. It's the crowd. It's the push, the roar. You know, the fans, you know, they scream and they wanting more. And then when you go out there and say you guys go out there and you get a great play, a sack, and you still, you know, you're celebrating with your teammates, but you don't have that thing of where you hear the fans, just the crowd roaring, the stadium shaking. You know, it's motivation, man.
Well, I don't think the Saints would be favored over the Rams in Los Angeles. So to your point, it is an absolute factor. Your thoughts? Antonio Brown's a great player.
Mm-hmm. No question.
He's going to play in the NFL. He's just too darn good. You know, it's like Odell Beckham. You got to find a place for him. Now, he may not fit every staff. I would make this argument, though. What Antonio Brown needs is a veteran, tolerant coach, a quarterback that throws a deep ball, a team that has a running game to force safeties in the box, and a good complementary receiver on the other side, limiting doubles. Doesn't he have all that in Pittsburgh? Could I not argue Pittsburgh's the perfect spot for him? I mean, wouldn't you be better, James?
All those things that you said, they are true. He has all that in Pittsburgh. But I think outside of those things, it's come to a point where I don't believe things can be, you know, burned out, so to speak. Yeah. And, you know, I feel like it's time, you know, that maybe he gets a fresh start somewhere else where he can build a whole different rapport relationship with new coaches, new you know, teammates, and, you know, start off from there.
What is his biggest frustration in Pittsburgh? What is the thing at night Antonio Brown lays in bed and it just irks him?
I don't know. I ain't in bed with him, so I couldn't tell you. I think he just wants to you know, get the same respect and you know, say, you know, as you know, he feels he or other players get that he doesn't get.
He doesn't feel he has the power in Pittsburgh he's earned.
To an extent, that's what I feel. Not speaking for him because I haven't talked, you know, directly like what it is, but I feel, you know, just from the vibe that I get.
Is the Big Ben relationship poor? I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to get along. You're in a locker room with 56 guys. Not everybody gets along.
You know, nothing is perfect. You know, I would say maybe it's a little strained, but I don't think that's the thing that would be like the killer, because they work well together. You know, at the end of the day, I don't really have to like you to be able to work well with you. I mean, we got to go out here and win games. If we win games, we both keep our job. So, I mean, I don't think someone's going to go out there and try and self-sabotage just to make a point or to make someone seem less of, you know, what they are to that team.
Did he tell you he wanted out of Pittsburgh?
He didn't tell me that.
Did you sense he wanted out of Pittsburgh?
I sense from everything that I'm reading now and seeing, with the, withdrawal of Stiller, comment things from his, his social medias and all that stuff. So, I mean, I would feel that, and the interview, I guess, or what Jerry said, I would think that he wants to get a fresh start somewhere else.
Money changes some people, not everybody. There are those that have said Antonio got paid and he changed. Do you buy that?
I don't buy that someone changes. I buy that maybe you become more aware of who that person may have been before that.